Are you constantly in your head worrying about how you come across to others? Do you find yourself changing the way that you talk and act simply to be liked more? Are you just afraid of being out in public in general and interacting with other people? Constantly being in your head like this, caring too much about other people's opinions, can ruin your self-esteem and stop you from living authentically. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how you can learn how to care less about what other people think of you, starting with a reality check, then getting into the mindset that you need to adopt, and finally, a key trait that you should develop that will make all of this far easier. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. This quote by Seneca could not be more relevant here. You see, you may believe that when you go out, everyone's eyes are on you, people are judging you, people are watching you, but in reality, everyone is too focused on their own lives to care about you so much. Of course, people will naturally look or glance at you for a second or two as you walk by, or if you're naturally occupying the same space, but this belief that they are overly focused on you is only coming from your own mind. The truth is that you are just like everyone else in that you are a human. And I'm stating the obvious there because in order to assume that everyone is watching and judging you, you need to also assume that you are more important than them. Understand that everyone has their own lives, and as long as you're minding your own business, you are really not at the forefront of their minds. And just as you are worrying about what they think, they are also worrying about what you think. And so, realizing that you don't matter to people as much as you think that you do is a good reality check to get rid of the idea that you are the one everyone is focusing on. So what about when someone directly says something to you that you don't like, or maybe you hear about something they said behind your back? In this case, I find it very helpful to actually take a good look at the person who is talking about you. Do you even know them? If you do you respect them and do you care about them? If the answer is no, then why allow yourself to be bothered by their opinion of you? Because whatever they say is not in your control, and you'll never be able to please everyone anyway. One of the most important life lessons that I have learned is to only value the opinions of people who I genuinely respect, those who have earned it. This doesn't mean that I ignore everyone else and dismiss their opinions, but it does mean that I take them less seriously. And if someone who I'm not familiar with straight up insults me or tries to degrade me in any way, then I simply laugh at them because at that point their words are just meaningless to me. If you try to navigate your life whilst taking everything that everyone says about you to heart, then you're going to feel insecure and you're going to feel like you're not good enough because you are attaching your self-worth to the unpredictable opinions of others. And this is really a double-edged sword because on one hand, you may feel amazing when people are complimenting you and praising you, but on the other hand, you're going to feel negative and down when those same people criticize you or say bad things about you. It's far better then to bear in mind that the only person who knows you best is you, and the only person who's going to make decisions about what's best for you is you. Therefore, you need to place the most value on your opinion and not others. Why would you want to change your whole way of life and suppress your authenticity just to try and look good and get the approval of others who you don't even necessarily care about in the first place? Now, I will say that if someone who you respect and care about says something to you that you don't like, maybe they offend you a little bit, it can be good to put your feelings aside and actually listen to what they're saying, and then you can decide if you want to follow their advice or respond to their criticisms. Because if you just dismiss everyone else's opinions of you, then you run the risk of being very delusional and just thinking that you know everything. But ultimately, you're going to need people in your life who will be able to recognize that you're going down the wrong path and give you advice to stay on the right one. For example, you may have a friend who's in shape and who tells you to lose weight, and maybe they poke a little bit of fun of you or say it in a jokey way, but Ultimately, they have your best interests at heart, and they just want you to look like the best version of yourself. Or maybe you have a family member who keeps telling you to stay away from a certain person or a certain group of people. Well, it's likely that they too have your best interests at heart. So overall, with this mindset, be sure to take some people's opinions of you more seriously than others. Understand that your own opinion of yourself is what matters the most, and therefore you need to start caring more about that than anything else. And realize that no matter what you do in life, there's always going to be people who don't agree with what you're doing and have something negative to say. All you can do is accept that, and accept that none of their opinions is in your control. So now that I've talked about the mindset that really helped me to stop being a people pleaser, there's also a key trait that if you have makes doing all of this far easier, and that is self-confidence. The fact is that if you are comfortable with yourself, then nothing that anyone says to you can really affect you. A person who's actively achieving their goals and working on bettering themselves is usually grounded enough in their own values to not be shaken up by what someone else says to them. And this does not mean that you have to be 100% comfortable with every little thing about yourself, because ultimately we all have little insecurities here and there. But the key is to be generally self-confident. And if confidence is an issue for you, I'll put a link in the description of a video I made on developing it. But the general idea is to have goals that you are working towards and to better yourself so that in your mind you are winning. Being focused on your goals in this way will naturally filter out a lot of the noise and negativity that you perceive from other people, because you are literally too focused on your own goals and getting results to waste time worrying about what other people are thinking of you. Also, you tend to have a more positive mindset when you believe that you are winning in life. So this further filters out any more negative thoughts that you may be having about other people. Earlier I mentioned how important it is to place the most value on your own opinion of yourself rather than others. Well, this naturally comes with building self-confidence. When you start to feel competent enough to achieve whatever you set out to get, and you're actively improving your life, then it becomes much harder for people to displace this belief that you've built in yourself. You're no longer attached so much to the opinions of others, because your self-worth and value increases beyond what anyone else may think of you. And so, as important as it is to get the mindset that I've previously mentioned in this video, it's going to be a lot harder to apply that mindset if your self-confidence is low. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you've been able to learn some things, and I hope that you are able to start caring less about what others think of you. I'll see you in my next video.